This show is powered by BL3P, the Lightning-enabled European Bitcoin exchange.
Connect the world.
Brandon, BTC Inc., and Puerto Rico.
Albert Einstein was one of the most influential physicists and thinkers of the 20th century. Einstein's most famous contribution to science are his theories of special relativity and general relativity. These theories revolutionized our understanding of space, time, gravity, and the fabric of the universe. Do you think Einstein would have preferred the proof of work consensus mechanism instead of proof of stake if he was still alive?
Yes.
Did you manage to crack the SHA-256 using JetGPT?
No.
Bitcoin Pizza Day is an annual event celebrated on May 22nd to commemorate the first documented real-world transaction using Bitcoin. On this day in 2010, a programmer named Laszlo Hannis paid 10,000 Bitcoin for his two pizzas. Is it because of this event pizza became your favorite food?
Absolutely, yes.
Bitcoin Amsterdam will be even better than the Miami edition we had this year.
Yes.
Are you a Boricua?
No.
Inter Miami is a professional football team based in Miami, Florida. The club recently signed former FC Barcelona legends Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, and Lionel Messi. With great success because led by Messi, the team reached the final of the League's Cup. Will they win this final?
No.
Bitcoin will also be used by non-human species.
Yes.
Shrek 2 is a 2004 animated comedy film and the sequel to the highly successful 2001 film Shrek. The film continues the adventures of Shrek, a lovable ogre, and his friends as they navigate through various humorous and fairy tale inspired situations. Did you know Shrek 2 was the first sequel to ever nominated for an Oscar as Best Animated Feature?
No, I didn't.
The coqui is a tiny frog native to Puerto Rico. The species is named for the loud call the males make at night. This sound serves two purposes. Co serves to repel other males and establish territory, while the key serves to attract females. Female coquis are not generally known to sing. The male does the mating call and the female listens and judges to identify which guy sings better. Do you know its scientific name is Eleutherodactylus, which means free toes, which references to the frog's shape?
No, I didn't.
Are you Satoshi Nakamoto?
Yes.
Welcome to the Connect the World weekly podcast. I'm Edward.
And I'm Steph. We are ready to take you with us into the beautiful world of the Lightning Network.
Enjoy the ride. This is episode 88 of Connect the World. This show is made possible by BL3P, the European Bitcoin exchange based in the Netherlands. Thank you guys for helping us to continue with our mission. And if you also want to help out with our mission, then follow us on Twitter, subscribe at our YouTube. And if you have any questions at all, then become a part of our community and see us in the Telegram group where you can ask us anything. And of course, you can also donate using the donation bot there. Let's continue. Conecta el mundo.
Well, welcome, Brandon. Good to have you in the show.
Yeah, Brandon, welcome.
Hey guys, good to be here.
Those were tricky questions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some tricky ones in there for sure.
You can't say I didn't warn you, right?
Oh, you did. I just wasn't ready. I still wasn't ready.
Well,
hey, Steph, what is a Boricua?
A Boricua, I think that's, I looked it up at the internet, and a Boricua is a native of Puerto Rico or a person of Puerto Rican descent.
Because I saw Brandon think
He was doubting, right? He was doubting.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
doubting.
and I'm right. I'm not a Barracuda, so yeah.
That's correct. And you said
Awesome.
that Inter Miami won't win the final. I mean,
yeah.
Messi is such on a roll, man. How can you say this?
Yes, because I'm actually from Nashville, and they play Nashville this weekend, so I got to rep the home team. But it's a big game.
Okay, cool. But do you really think you make a chance against the team? Because yeah, they pulled
Do
up
I
a
think
really
we have
nice team.
We have a chance, okay? We have a chance. Do I think that it's likely that we win? Honestly, no, but I can't wait to see it. Zimmerman is the center back for Nashville FC. He's also the center back for the U.S. national team. So all Americans love a good Zimmerman versus Messi matchup. It should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. But it's crazy what they did, right? I mean, I'm a big Barcelona fan. I think Barcelona is my second favorite football team. And when I saw, I think it was Messi first, right? And then Busquets came and Alba came. And I saw the happiness because, Messi played for Paris Saint-Germain here in Europe. And he wasn't happy at all, I mean, I think he made the great buck, but he has money enough. I mean, and then now I see him play in Miami, and to be honest, and not to be rude, but the US competition is not the hardest competition of the world. I'm sorry, but you can see him smile again. I mean, he's so happy, it seems. So I'm really happy to see him smile.
Yeah, well, what's also super interesting about it is the deal he took. He gets partial ownership in the team as part of the deal, and I think that that's one of those things that could just transform the face of sports. Right? This is kind of the first time you've really seen a superstar have equity in the team that he's playing for, and kind of have that extra incentive layer. So I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, and I mean, Miami is a great city, and Florida is a great state, and and he brought his homemates, so I can imagine that he's happy, and I'm so happy he hasn't choose a adventure in the desert, right, with all the other big stars going to I don't even know the clubs they are signing, but. Really love to see him play in
Neymar. Neymar just signed there today. Yeah,
it's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. I'm still waiting for the call, but I don't know if they have my phone number.
Me too.
And then you're going to the desert.
Saudi Arabia, 500 mil. That's all it takes.
I'm really cheap.
Then you're connecting the world there, Steph.
And you said Bitcoin will also be used by non-human species. That's very interesting. What's your take on that?
Yeah, really, my mind goes two places with that. Number one, back in the day, I wrote kind of a meme, not to be taken seriously article about aliens and Bitcoin, which now feels more relevant nowadays where, aliens and UFOs are part of the mainstream discourse. But I do think there's something to be said about, just if another species that was intelligent were to interact with us, they sure as heck aren't going to use the US dollar or the euro, right? Like they're going to be using some form of transaction that is at least neutral and not manipulated by us. So I think Bitcoin could definitely fit there. The other piece of that is AI, right? Like I think that there's a decent chance that you could see alignment between humans and AI via a shared mechanism of value. And Bitcoin is the most obvious mechanism there.
That really is an interesting subject for the future. Yeah. Hey, and you said it is because of Pizza Day that you love pizzas, right?
Of course.
But would you buy the pizzas for the same amount Laszlo did?
Oh, man. They got to be really good pizzas.
In other words, are you more of a hodler than using it as a medium of exchange, right?
Good question. I am. So actually, I have two thoughts about this. I really like the idea of the stack and replace. I think that's great. Right. Yeah. Spin and replace. And then, stack and replace too.
That's right.
I also would love to do a world in which basically when I pay for things in dollars, as much as possible, what actually happens is kind of a strike model where, yeah, I've got like some dollars sitting in my bank account, but it's still sent via Bitcoin. And so there's still like a Bitcoin transaction, a purchase that happens to kind of capture the economic value being sent.
But you mean then the thing that Strike is doing, or don't you mean that type of transaction?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that Strike is basically doing that, but I'd like to see somehow it get implemented fully into like point of sale, where just, every dollar transaction I'm doing is truly just a Bitcoin transaction.
Fiat banks have also some fiat banks that if you pay with your card, then you also pay an amount to your savings account. But of course, it would be more interesting if it's more used to use with Bitcoin, right? So
totally.
You have a savings account on Bitcoin. That's more logical.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. Hey, what is your role at BTC Inc., Brandon? Let's start with your background, because you have a totally different background, right? And what brought you into Bitcoin and working into Bitcoin?
It's a good question. So I went to Bama. I worked for BTC right out of college, but I went to Bama, and David Bailey, who's the CEO and founder of BTC Inc., was also there. He was 4 years older than me. I kind of knew of him. I had a free summer, and I'm a chemical engineering background, which is what you were alluding to. I graduated with chemical engineering, and I was supposed to work at Anheuser-Busch as a master brewer trainee. So I was going to learn how to brew beer. But I had a free summer, and I was like, all right, I'm not the kind of person who would just sit around for a summer. So I hit up David, and I was like, hey, you need someone to like move boxes? I don't know anything about this Bitcoin thing. And he was like, yeah, we got some boxes to move. Like, come on over. And, the rest is history. So I've been working
story
for like 6.5 years now. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Crazy. And are there some similarities then between the studies you did and the work in Bitcoin now? Or is there,
Yeah, it's a good question. So, kind of tying this also to the Einstein side, right? Like, I think that there's two things that really get you into Bitcoin. One is to have like a mental framework of how you take in and understand information, right? And so, I think that chemical engineering did a really good job of just like setting that framework in my mind of like, here's how I can actually learn and understand new concepts when they're not being spoon-fed to me. And then the second piece of it is you need to be disagreeable enough. Like, you need to be willing to disagree with someone of authority who is telling you something the opposite of what you find to be true. And so really those two kind of aspects melded together really well to kind of set me on the path of Bitcoin. And of course, some great mentorship from the David Baileys of the world.
Yeah, great story, man.
Yeah,
really uncommon. But somehow the orange pill got you really bad.
Oh yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way. Yeah. To be clear. Okay, hey, let's talk about BTC Inc. and the Bitcoin conference you guys are organizing in Amsterdam again. We are really loving it, obviously. But it has to be in the 21 minutes, Brandon. So if you are ready, we would really love to enter that part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Connetti il mondo.
What is your role to this day at BTC Inc. and for the conferences that they organize?
Yeah, so I'm actually the head of the event. So I kind of oversee the whole team that puts on the event, from programming to sales to production, etc. I also function as the chief of staff of the company. So I'm David's kind of right hand, doing all sorts of little things.
Cool.
And are those all conferences? So Miami and also Amsterdam?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And are you guys planning to expand it to other regions also?
We are. Yeah. So, we're thinking of a couple different models of kind of looking at it. Number one, somewhere in the Spanish-speaking language region, I think is going to be super valuable, especially with obviously El Salvador, but now you've got the president of Argentina, the future president potentially of Argentina, Javier Milei, who's coming out really strongly pro-Bitcoin. And, with Ricardo Salinas, who runs kind of the largest media conglomerate in Mexico, that's kind of three different distinct Spanish-speaking regions who are very far along the track of kind of being a Bitcoin nation. So we see opportunity there. Asia and China especially, it's kind of not talked about a lot, but China is actually coming back around to Bitcoin in an interesting way.
Yeah.
And I think as, geopolitically things continue to complicate and international, transactions continue to get a little bit more fraught, I think that Bitcoin will start to play maybe the most minor, but a minor role in kind of how international transactions happen. So having that East and West foothold makes a lot of sense to us.
Yeah, and to extend to that, because the Bitcoin Miami conference has become bigger and bigger each year, and we also, we hope to see that also in Amsterdam. Obviously, last year was the very first edition. It was a great success, if you ask me. But in your view, what impact does the Bitcoin conference have on the wider adoption and education of Bitcoin, and also talking about those Spanish language countries? Obviously, how does this align with your personal vision for Bitcoin?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we see the conference as a vehicle for hyper Bitcoinization, right? Like our goal is both for the conference to bring people along in their own journey with Bitcoin, right? Like something I like to tell the team is we should be meeting people wherever they are on their Bitcoin journey, whether they've never even heard of it, to like they're just getting started, to they're the foremost expert. And our goal should be meet them where they are and bring them one step further along their path. And if we can do that, then we're a success just in and of itself. And then the other part of it, though, is that the conference itself is an economic entity, right? And so, what was really cool with Miami is we were able to partner with the city and with Mayor Suarez and, actually do things in the city that increased adoption. So like Mayor Suarez, for instance, allowed all government employees of the city to take their salary in Bitcoin. He took his own salary in Bitcoin. He worked on having, Miami have like a Bitcoin holding in and of itself as a city. So like that kind of, and then also DeSantis, who's the governor of the state, we were talking to him a lot about Bitcoin, and he got interested in Bitcoin partially because our conference was there. And so, using that as a vehicle for hyper Bitcoinization too has been something that we really tried to work really hard on. Something we hope to continue both in Amsterdam and in Nashville as well.
Yeah. So not only during the conferences, but also afterwards.
And is this also one of the reasons that you guys moved then to Texas next year to just Orange Pill, another state, for instance?
Yeah, Nashville, Tennessee, not Texas.
Sorry, Nashville,
big rivalry.
Sorry.
So, the part of the reason we did it, was to try and build new relationships with a new place and have a similar relationship with what we did in Miami. So, the city of Nashville, obviously it's kind of my home, so I'm a little biased, but it's also Bitcoin Magazine's headquarters. And so, they've been very receptive over the years to talking to us, exploring things. So we're like, all right, let's bring the conference there. Let's orange pill the city. Let's get the state excited about Bitcoin. Let's make sure that all the laws, around the city and state are pro Bitcoin and inviting the kind of the industry into the jurisdiction. And let's keep spreading this thing.
Cool.
And if we talk about the upcoming conference in Amsterdam, can you elaborate a little bit about the educational components of the conference? Because that's what we liked a lot. What opportunities will attendees have to learn more about Bitcoin?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we kind of, in Amsterdam, we take 3 different stages with 3 different approaches, right? So we've got kind of the main stage, that's your GA audience. We're going to hit the basics. We're going to see how Bitcoin interacts with culture. And, that's really especially for like 101 level content, right? And then we have kind of the second stage, which is really the 201 level. Can we get like a little bit more technical? Can we talk through some of the challenges currently in Bitcoin? Can we talk through some of the new things coming between, side chains, layered scaling, ordinals, et cetera, where we're seeing, a lot of movement, a lot of activity. And then we have the workshop stage, and that's really where people can present new ideas, the most technical content, especially lightning adoption and those kind of topics are really well suited for that workshop presentation style stage. And so we try and find kind of content wherever someone is on their journey and be able to connect with them.
Yeah, we did a workshop last year, and it was a great
Yeah.
success. But I hope you
It's a
guys
great
booked a
stage.
bigger venue, because the place was packed. Well, I'm not going to say all the time, and maybe also not during our workshop. It was pretty busy, but especially when Ben Ark was on stage, with his Ellen Bits workshop. I mean, there wasn't enough room to fit all the people in. So I hope you
Yeah,
switch.
where the
you
lockers
switch,
were, right,
You switch
Steph?
with another. Yeah, well, even in the lockers also. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was great to see.
He
Yeah,
put some things there, and there people could really touch and build themselves, and it's just to tease people to work with it, right? So that's that was
absolutely. Yeah,
interesting.
we're getting creative on how we can make sure we're in the same venue this year. So we've got to figure out how to be able
Awesome.
to bring in
Yeah,
some
of
more
course.
folks and get especially the workshop stage. You're right, was pretty busy the whole time. So we've got some ideas though.
Yeah, I think for the European attendees, they really like the workshop stage. Yeah,
but the whole venue is so,
of course,
so nice, man.
it's
it's my favorite.
out of this world, right? So
and
all the aliens can come.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, and Brandon, is it difficult to organize an event like this in a bear market? I was thinking.
Yeah, there are certain things that make it more difficult, and there are certain things that actually make it a lot better. So, one of the things about doing an event in the bull market is you get a lot of the tourists, is what we kind of call them internally, right? It's the people who, I've heard about Bitcoin. I bought a little bit earlier this year. I plan on selling, at the top and, making my quick buck, right? Those people are all not going to come to a bear market event. Instead, what you get the people who are like fully invested. They want, like, they're coming on a mission. Like they're going to, find their next partner. They're going to find investors for whatever they're building. They're going to, build deals. They're going to learn something that they really want to come learn, or they're going to reconnect with the friends and, their fellow Bitcoiners who they just want to see and commiserate the bear market with a little bit, right? Like it's just, it's a good environment. So, we tend to find that like the bear markets are the most magical events that we throw because it's just all the right people and all the noise is gone. And it feels really great.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And what are the biggest changes for the Amsterdam conference this year? What can we tell our listeners? Because a lot of our listeners went there. What can they expect this year to be the biggest change? Perhaps you have a scoop.
Yeah. So, I mean, certainly with Ed Snowden as a speaker, we're taking a very privacy focused, track, especially with Mika, that's kind of this nice little juxtaposition. And so, I think that there's going to be a lot more technical conversations, a lot more privacy focused conversations. And, really I don't know if you guys remember, but Bitcoin Amsterdam 2022 was right before the FTX blow up like the true doldrums of the bear market. And so there's also just, there's been a lot of blowback that's happened to the industry and a lot of, needing to rebuild bridges to kind of the external world for Bitcoin. So we'll be trying to accomplish a little bit of that, our little piece that we can kind of do in terms of connecting to some regulators, some outside world kind of folks, and really bringing a better face to Bitcoin than what existed up until now.
Yeah, and how do you go about selecting and inviting the speakers for the conference? What criteria must they meet? I mean, Snowden obviously is very logical to invite, but what criteria does the other speakers have to meet?
Yeah, so our programming team kind of sifts through all of the speaker applications. The broad things we look for: number one, obviously they have to be there to talk about Bitcoin, right? They're not there to talk about some other crypto or whatever. Number two, like we want to see that they've done something interesting over the past, in this case, like over the past year since we kind of last convened. What's new? What have you been building? What have you been working on? Is it a new idea that you're trying to present, et cetera? And then, lastly, there's the element of, is this relevant to our audience currently? And like, will people be excited about it? And like, do you think we can fill out whatever stage kind of with the content? So, I wish that there was kind of a more concrete rubric that we could kind of grade on, but a lot of it is kind of being plugged into the community, understanding what's hot, what's interesting right now, and just making sure that we're kind of tracking on it and going with our gut a little bit. So that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about what's interesting now, what's hot, then I think there will be a lot more about Noster this year, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you're talking about privacy, then decentralization and Edward Snowden popping up on Noster, that was a big thing this year. So
Absolutely,
curious
yeah.
about some extra Noster content.
Yeah. If you go to our speaker page right now, I think we've got a couple folks from the Noster world already up there and confirmed, a couple more that we haven't put up there yet. So Noster is definitely going to be a topic of interest. Not to mention, Alex McShane, who runs our programming, is very plugged into the Noster world. He helped program the Noster Rica in Costa Rica earlier this year. And yeah, he's all in. So we're very tapped into Noster for sure.
Awesome. Because the day before the conference, we also organize a Nosterdam meetup at Bry, where we were also last year, and there will be a lot of people also present. So I think that's a great topic to talk about. And if you think about engaging with the audience, physical and also those who are watching online, how do you ensure they get the most out of the conference?
That's a good question. So, part of it is, and this is what I feel like we always do the worst job of, right? Is like trying to give people the most holistic picture possible of what's going to happen at the event. And it just requires a ton of communication, a ton of like, you need to know that we're doing this, like get the agenda up as soon as possible. Yeah. Make sure we're highlighting all of the things that are going on, highlight all the companies that are going to be there. I mean, there's just so many things. And everyone's there for different reasons too, right? Some people are coming because they really want a job. And like, this is a great place to go meet, the company you're going to work for. Some people want to come there just to grab a beer and chill and see their friends, and then you see like everyone in between, right? I love grabbing the beer and chilling with friends. So, right. So yeah, I mean, it's really trying to tap into those different kind of buckets of reasons that people are there and making sure that like we're amplifying the message around each of those. And if we can do that successfully, then, I think people will be pretty excited.
Yeah, and you once said that you are aiming to make the event a combination of the Woodstock, the event CES, the tech event CES, and a political convention. How close do you think you are to realizing this vision, or are we there already?
Yeah, so I would say, the one that's been in Miami and is now in Nashville, I think that we're very much on track there. It's turning into something special for sure. I think Amsterdam year one was very special, but it definitely tracked more on like the Woodstock kind of vibe, which is great. I think that's where you want to start. And so really our goal is to keep the magic of kind of that community driven event where, you're not pressured. You're really just there to have a good time. Right. And then also fold in the industry, make sure the industry is kind of nurturing the European Bitcoin community. That we're building products there, that we're pushing back against bad regulation and kind of bad policy. And then, that we're creating like a friendly environment for people to be Bitcoiners in Europe, right? And then, the third part will come as an artifact of that. Like once the industry is there, once the community's there, then, that political side, like why are we Bitcoiners, right? Will really start to crystallize and help build the movement.
Yeah, indeed. And can you share more about any partnerships or collaborations that are the most important for the success of the conference? And I think those differ from Miami to Amsterdam, so it is local, of course.
Yeah, I would say that like the most exciting or important ones for me, right? I mean, we're American, right? So in some ways, we've got our network, we've got our audience, but we're coming into your home, right? And so the community partnerships are super important to me. And like, they're the most meaningful, I think. Being able to get the meetup groups, the podcasts, the people who are really the leaders of the European Bitcoin scene to come together at the event that's really that's how we are successful. It's how we become successful is getting those people involved, creating the platform for them to use, right? Like it's about you guys being able to use the conference and build what you're doing, and us just kind of being a piece of your story, right? Like that's how we succeed. And then making sure that the companies that are European and focus on Europeans, that they're all there too. I would say that's how I think about it.
And Shell is a Dutch company, right? So they were sponsoring the Miami event. Are they also sponsoring the Amsterdam edition, or?
They're not confirmed as of right now. We have been talking to them about it.
They should.
It's a royal Shell. It's a royal.
The trick is, they are focused right now on the mining side of things, specifically oil, right? With immersion cooling oil, and so they're looking to talk to miners. And we got to build out, more miners in Europe, and that's going to be the thing that really gets Shell involved.
But we have very high energy prices, man. It's not affordable here. It's a pain in the ass.
Maybe in the north of Europe.
Yeah, you got tons of offshore wind, and
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know how much the intricacies and kind of the difficulties of intermittent energy play in duck curve kind of curtailment issues, etc. With wind. I don't know how that's currently solved right now. So
Shell has a big windmill parks offshore here with a lot of excess energy. And the stupid thing is, I have one guy in the community who's working for Shell, and he was proposing Shell to implement Bitcoin miners to make use of that excess energy, but they weren't that positive about it. So I think we still have some work to do here, because they're just losing money, right? I mean, they can just mine sets for free. I mean, come on, man. So
100%.
Maybe we can
eventually they will, because the incentives are aligned, right? Like they're choosing not to make more money by just mining with excess electricity. So it's just a matter of time. They can't just choose not to make more money forever. No. That's not their job. So yeah.
Yeah, that's correct, man. And considering Bitcoin's ethos of the decentralization and open access, how do you ensure that the conference is financially accessible to a wide audience?
Yeah, so the two biggest ways we do that. Number one is student tickets. If you're a student, you're not making a lot of money right now. We have a very cheap, reduced ticket for all students. And then secondly is the open source, kind of our proof of work, right? So if you are an open source contributor, and we've got a list of different open source projects, you get a free ticket. So you just have to show us your contribution, your GitHub. Just prove that you've been, working and helping build Bitcoin, and you get in for free. Like, we want to support you. And then, outside of that, we never want cost to be a reason why someone doesn't come to the event. So if cost is prohibitive, reach out to us and we'll make something happen for you.
Cool. I think that's good. Nice that you say. Was it also the case in the previous editions? Because I know a lot of people who are working on Bitcoin, and I don't think they know this thing.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's something that we really leaned into and created for the first time for Bitcoin 2023. And so it's something that we're now re-implementing for Bitcoin Amsterdam. It was hugely successful for 2023. We had a ton of people come through the program. And now we're just trying to get the word out about it for Amsterdam. So,
nice.
Folks, throw them our way and we'll make sure that we get them involved.
Cool. Nice. We will do that. Yeah, we have a lot of people, so I hope you have enough tickets to give.
Oh yeah. Bring them on.
Cool.
Maybe it's nice to also talk. I think the time is running up, but you also wrote an article in Bitcoin Magazine not so long ago about building back Bitcoin in 2023, and also about the bear market. For those who are new to Bitcoin or have been sitting on the sidelines, what is the most impactful step they can take right now to, like you said it, enter the arena and contribute to Bitcoin's future?
Yeah, well, first of all, come to the conference, right? Like, get involved, show up, right? You got to show up. You got to get your hands dirty, build with us. And if you do that, oh my gosh, this ticking is really intense. If you do that, if you come get involved, you will find opportunity because all of the companies, everyone's there. Your next founder's there, your next investor's there. Come get involved, come build the relationships, and it'll pay dividends for your future.
Cool. Well, that's
all about relationships.
That's a nice ending to this 21 minutes, Brennan. And there's the gong.
There's the gong.
Perfect, man.
It was a nice article, by the way, Brennan, because you also write so articles. It's nice to mention.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, we had a lot of more questions. I see great ones about hyper-Bitcoinization. Perhaps after the conference, then it will work.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Conecta el mundo.
Yeah, we have one question left for you, Brennan. We're going to play Lightning Bingo. You may choose from one of the 3 questions we prepared for you. One is from Herman Vivier. He's from Bitcoin Ekasi. One is from Alex Gladstein. Well, he's from the Human Rights Foundation. And one is from Ariel Edelsnor, and he's from Mi Primer Bitcoin. And you may choose only one. Mi Primer. Yeah, that's the Spanish pronunciation.
Espanol.
Right? Yeah. So Herman Vivier, Alex Gladstein, or Ariel Edelsnor?
Let's do Mr. Vivier.
Okay,
Vivier.
Herman Vivier.
All right, here it comes.
Hi there, my name is Herman from Bitcoin Ekasi, and my Bitcoin Lightning question for you is, what is the smallest Lightning transaction that you've ever made that had a real world purpose?
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
I would say I have actually bought a cup of coffee using Lightning. It was at our 2021 event, actually, I think. And I think I paid maybe $3 or $4 for it.
Perfect. That will be a really, really expensive coffee in the future, Brandon.
Yeah.
I hope you spend and replace, my man.
Of course. Spend and replace. And it's not going to be another pizza story, I can tell you that.
No, I would say, yeah. Okay, thanks, man.
世界をつなぐ
Okay, we can give a prize away, people. We can give away one general admission ticket to Bitcoin Amsterdam. And what do the people need to do to win, Edward? Thanks, Brandon, for giving the prize away, first of all, of course, and the whole team from BTC.
What do people need to do? Well, share your best picture of one of the previous Bitcoin conferences. Could be Bitcoin Amsterdam last year or Miami if you've been there. And use our handle CTW _podcast and the Bitcoin Conf handle. And Bitcoin Europe has also a handle, so you can also throw that in. It doesn't matter. If you do that and retweet it, then...
and it may be an anonymous one, right? I mean, you can just be anonymous on the picture, but it has to be a nice picture from one of the conferences you attended.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also.
Thanks.
Connecter le monde.
Okay, Brandon, thanks for your time, mate. Where can people follow you, Brandon?
Yeah, they can follow me on Twitter at BrandBTC. I'm not going to try and shill my Noster pub, so we'll be here for a while.
Do you have a NIP 05 or...
No. I'm a simple guy, so mostly I'm just on Twitter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks again. And thanks for listening. And thanks to all members participating in Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire. And of course, thanks to everyone helping to connect the world with us. And if you like our content, then please support our mission and visit our website, connecttheworld.live, where you can also donate and subscribe, like, and share our content on your favorite platform. So we need you to complete our mission, connect the world. So keep those nodes running, sats flowing, and rings burning. And see you all next week. And of course at the conference at this same Lightning channel. Arrivederci.
Tot ziens.